What if you could treat all your key-based data structures, like maps and keyword lists, with a single, consistent interface for data retrieval? That's the power of access behavior in Elixir. We're going to dive deep into how this simple concept allows us to build a clear and robust function for extracting data from any nested path. Howdy, I'm Kevin. In these videos, I explore AI tools to help us learn. I use VS Code and Copilot to solve the exercise, but you're free to use the editor in AI of your choice. Google's NotebookLM is my learning partner today. NotebookLM now offers a shorter video that they call a brief. Let's watch the introduction to access behaviors.
So, check this out. A web team is having a tough time pulling specific data from their nested maps. They just want to get the value at the end of this path, without crashing the whole thing. So, what's the secret? It all comes down to understanding Elixir's built-in access behavior. It's literally just square brackets. This is your go-to way to get data from maps and lists.
Let's take a second and look at what this access behavior does. I'm jumping into Elixir's interactive shell down here, and I'm going to paste in this data. And now that we have this data, we can work with it and see how the access behavior works. So if we say, hey, data, now the access behavior allows you to get values out of keyed structures like maps and keywords based on the keys. So if we say team mascot, what we'll get back is the value of team mascot out of this, which is the animal and the actor. So your actor and animal. We could, in fact, chain these right along together. We could then say, now that I have the first value out of here, this inner map, I could then say, from this map, get me the animal. So when we're looking to do this exercise, where we're given keys in a dot separated string, we're basically looking to do this. We're looking to say, given the data, first extract what the value for the team mascot is, and then, given the next key, get the value of its key. So what we need to do is parse this up into a list, and then we need to iterate through each time refining the data with the next key.
Okay, challenge time. Let's build a function to solve their problem using only the access behavior. The plan is simple. We split the path string and just dig through the map one key at a time.
So in our implementation for extract from path, we will first split up the path by the dot separator. And that's exactly string.split the path by the dot. So this gives us back a list of the keys that we need to work our way into the data structure with. So if you then thought, okay, we need to take a key, step in, take a key, step in, and that sounds like recursion, you'd be right. So let's create a private function. Let's call it find value. And we're going to take in the data. And this will be our stop function. So when we're out of keys, then we want to return whatever piece of data we have. So then in the other cases, we have a key and potentially others. What we want to do is actually get the next layer in of that data. So thank you, Copilot, but this is not the code we need or want. We want data of the key. So this will be one layer in on that map. And what do we want to do with that? Well, we want to keep iterating into or recursing in through our data structure with the rest of the keys. And this will keep going until we're out of keys, and then we'll return our piece of data. So we will call find value. One tricksy little note here is that if this should refer to a key that doesn't exist, data of that thing that doesn't exist will be nil. And so you might ask yourself, when I come back around and this is nil, what happens? Well, you get nil, because here in the documentation, this is on xdocs for Elixir, the core functionality. This says here under the access behavior, which is what we're thinking about here with the square brackets to get into the keys of a structure, that if you try accessing anything on a nil value, you'll get nil back. So this works out very nicely, very conveniently, that this then is nil. And so what happens here is this value is nil, and so we get back nil. Did you know that behaviors are how you declare a common set of functions, a contract if you will, that each implementation must fulfill? The access behavior is one of many generic interfaces that Elixir provides out of the box. You can extend this interface or define your own whenever you need a common, consistent interface that multiple distinct modules must adhere to.
So we solved it. Awesome. But you know there's got to be a better way, right? Then a coworker takes a look and points us to a function that does this exact thing already. And that function is getIn. It's a perfect example of how Elixir gives you powerful built-in tools.
For the getInPath function, we get to use the convenience that Elixir provides. You know, this is not the first time this problem's being solved, so Elixir gives you a very convenient way to do nested access into a structure. There is a macro, as it turns out, but think of it as a function out of the kernel called getIn. And let's look at this version, the version that takes two arguments. Options is our data, that's their data structure, so data. And then this list, they happen to be using atoms, but this is the list of keys. So we're going to have our animal and our team mascot strings in our list. Giving it our data. Oh, and we do need to convert our dot separated string into a list of individual keys by breaking it apart by the dot operator.
So what did we learn? Knowing the basics is crucial, but always, always check for a built-in solution first.
Hit the like button if you found the key to accessing nested data. Get in to the playlist to build your Elixir expertise one powerful function at a time. See you there.